The last time James Shields faced the White Sox, he was trying to lead the Royals to a sweep, and he pitched 8 scoreless innings. Today, the Royals need him to shut down the Sox to avoid a sweep. Royals baseball is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals could use a shot of offense as they have scored just 3 runs in the first 2 games with Chicago. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and boy, would James Shields like a shot of offense. He has given the Royals everything they had hoped for and more. And now the Royals would like to give him some run support and reward him for his efforts. It has been almost 2 months since James Shields personally has won a game, but maybe we're headed in the right direction, because while he's had a no decision over his last 4 starts, the Royals have won those 4 games, and he's pitching against Chicago today, whom he has dominated in his first 2 starts. And let's welcome in Rex Hudler, and when I say dominating the Sox, I'm talking about 1 earned run in 14 innings.
The cupboard has been bare as far as runs go for Big Game James, but this guy's the ultimate professional. He only controls what he knows he can, and that's that lethal sinking fastball, that 2-seamer. That changeup is good. How about great? And also his slider. He's got all the pitches he needs except some run support, and that's going to come today. Guarantee it. They've got to find a way. If you got a manufacturer, if all 6 guys got a bunt like they did in Japan, go ahead and do it. Just score him some runs and use that defense, because it's brilliant out there. Like to see it happen. Maybe today's the day, Ryan.
And that offense might be led by Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas. Hosmer's batting 3rd. He's hit for the cycle in the first 2 games of the series. Moustakas hits 5th. He has 3 straight multi-hit games.
winless streak for James Shields, and he's gone through this before in his career. The 9 straight starts without a win ties a mark for him that he had 2 other times. In 2006, he went 9 starts without a win, and in 2010 through to 2011, 9 starts without a win. The difference is his ERA in those 2 stints, 6.11 and 6.19. This year, 2.53. Let's put this thing in perspective, too. Guys, in this stretch since May 6th, 306 different pitchers in the majors, starters and relievers, have wins. Shields is still looking for one. We know what he'll bring. Baseball is coming up next. I'm Joe Goldberg. Enjoy the game.
Is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Play the Powerball and Mega Million Scratchers game to win $100 grand or more. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. And we have some cloud cover at the moment, so that's keeping the hot sun off the fans and the players for now. But in those clouds and around the area, there is some chance for rain and possibly thunderstorms later in the afternoon. And today's game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Well, the Chicago White Sox, they had a road trip through Houston, Minnesota, and then Kansas City, and they started 1-6, and now trying to finish strong as they've won the first two of this three-game series with the Royals. And here's how Robin Ventura will line up the Sox today.
Okay, hopefully James Shields will be able to tame the Sox like he has been able to tame most of the American League. And if he's going to do what he always does, and that's go more than 6 innings, there's a pretty good chance of that. He's got to get some run support. But, you see Dunn in there, Canerco, those are all guys that really have that big swing. But James has the ultimate weapon, that hard two-seam sinking fastball, the changeup. Those are all effective against home run bats. You see him, he's one of the best pitchers in the American League with that ERA. All of his numbers that he has is as advertised. Okay, he's tops, in the AL in strikeouts too. Use the defense. He's going to get his strikeouts, but just the whole emphasis is going to be for runs. And in case he does leave the ball out up over the plate, we've got Jarrod Dyson making his debut as far as the disabled list goes. He's missed quite a few times, or quite a lot of time with that sprained ankle. He's got speed out there. He can cover it. Hopefully James doesn't miss too often, but in case he does, Jarrod to the rescue.
Dyson, as a pinch runner yesterday, stole a base. Didn't look like his ankle was bothering him at all. So Ned Yost will put him in the outfield. He didn't start him yesterday as the White Sox had left-hander Jose Quintana on the mound, but with a right-hand pitcher, Dylan Axelrod, out there today, Dyson starts in center. Here's the White Sox center fielder, Alejandro De Aza. And De Aza ended up with the game-winning RBI yesterday with a sac fly in the 9th inning, scoring Jordan Danks. And the White Sox took game 2, 3-2. A leadoff hitter with some power. He has 10 home runs, which is a new career high. He established a career high when he hit 9 last year. And he has hit that 10th home run of the season in this series. 2-0.
Okay, down in the zone is where he needs to stay. He knows that. Execute those pitches and try to stay away from the big first innings. He's given up a few first inning runs this year.
And he is missing high to De Aza. And he begins the game with a 4-pitch walk. Shields is coming off what I thought was a very impressive start on Monday at Cleveland. Now you look at his line, and that part isn't very impressive as far as his standards. 6 innings, 4 walks, 1 earned run, 111 pitches. But the Indians had some really long at-bats, a lot of foul balls. Shields had 1 inning where he threw 29 pitches. He had another inning where he threw 34 pitches. But the Indians didn't score in either one of those two. He was very good with men on base, and I'll bet there are quite a few times in the game on Monday where the Indians out there poised for a big inning, and in the end they got nothing.
Well, great starters, they have a way of shutting the game down once the guy gets in scoring position. But right now, this first inning here, working with George Kataris, no Salvador Perez, James is having a hard time. 6 pitches, 6 balls. Stay on top and drive it down. Lexi Ramirez 11 for 29 with a couple of home runs off of James. In his career, pretty good numbers.
And there's the first strike. It's on his 7th pitch, 2-1. White Sox lineup today is a very interesting mixture of hitters who have done very well against James Shields and guys who have done absolutely nothing against James Shields. Really no gray area. And Ramirez, one of those who has done well, hitting .379, and he hits a slicer foul off the right field line. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Overall numbers against a certain pitcher are good for confidence, but that's it. You can't tell day to day what's going to happen, even though you have good numbers against a guy, or even if you have bad numbers. It all depends on the day. What's happening? How's the pitcher? How's he looking? James Shields so far is a little bit off, but this is the first inning. Most pitchers struggle in the first inning. James has given up 12 first inning runs this season.
That ball wasn't hit hard, but it drops for a base hit. So a walk and a single for the White Sox in the first, and Ramirez continues to thrive against Shields.
But those 12 first inning runs that James has given up, he's been stingy after that. He settles down quickly and mows him down. But hopefully he can get a little help here on the ground.
That would be exactly, well, actually a little more than 1/3 of the runs he's allowed all year have come in the first inning.
He's looking for a ground ball.
Strike to Alex Rios.
Rios is a guy with a large sample size of at-bats. 48 times he's come to the plate to face Big James. 14 hits, 1 homer.
And that would go back to Rios's days with the Blue Jays and Shields' days with the Rays. All those intra-divisional games. And that is by far the most career at-bats for any White Sox hitter in the lineup today against Shields.
By far. I mean, that's a big number. I mean, typically, you know, you face a guy 25, 30 times. That's a pretty good sample size. But you're right. The Blue Jays days for Rios, when he was a young hitter trying to establish himself, he found some difficulties, although that average is 292. So that's not too shabby against one of the best pitchers.
And that's out of play, still 1-2. Now these days, because of the internet, any fan can go online if they know where to go, and they could see how Rios has done in the past against James Shields. But when you played, that was something that had to be handed to you. Were you aware in games who had faced a pitcher more times and spent some time with him and pick his brain?
90s is when it started coming out. The 80s, you didn't have that. No, so there wasn't. All you had was memory. I hit this guy pretty good, but you didn't have actually stats. But in the 90s, it started coming out. You started, getting computer readouts.
Changeup. Rios hits it off the end of the bat. De Aza and Ramirez will tag as David Lowe makes the play, and the throw is cut off. So De Aza moves up. Ramirez returns to first. And how to ask you that question, because with the video these days, hitters can draw their own conclusions. Just if they've never faced a pitcher before, well, they can watch 10, 20, 30, I don't know how many matchups with a pitcher and another hitter. And I wonder if today that takes away, instead of watching video, a hitter just going to, would the White Sox hitters go to Alex Rios today and say, wow, you faced this guy 48 times. Tell me about him.
Yeah, you're still going to talk, although the talk is not the way it used to be either, along with technology, because guys have their headsets on, their video games they're playing. It's a lot different in a clubhouse now, so there's not as much social interaction between players. But certainly the smart ones will go to a veteran guy and say, hey, what are his tendencies? A few things that hitters want to know, and some things they really need to know. And some veterans will go around and share that information whether a young player wants to hear it or not, because he wants to win. He wants to give his hitters every opportunity to know any little tidbits. Like, does he slide step? What does he throw? 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, different things. But you don't want to get memory overload or paralysis by analysis. Take away just a simple fact of going up there and playing your game and react.
Cutter is just outside, and now 3-0 on Konerko. Because nowadays with the video, the hitter can go to Mark Topping, the Royals video coordinator, and say, I want to see the last 20 strikeouts that James Shields has. What did he do to strike a hitter out? Or I want to see the last 20 home runs he's given up. And, you know, Topper, you can plug that thing to the computer and say, here you go.
And it's a huge advantage, too. Believe me, don't get me wrong about modern technology. I mean, you take all the information you can, but you take it with a grain of salt. You don't absorb everything. You just kind of let some of it go. Really, all I wanted to see was the guy on video. Did he have a move at first base? And I wanted to see what his breaking balls looked like. So I'd watch maybe an inning, and that was it. Any more than that was too much.
3-2 on Konerko.
He can get Konerko here with a good two-seamer down and have him roll over into his 7th double play if he can just get Konerko to cooperate.
And for a lot of hitters, they have to hit it pretty hard right at an infielder in order to turn a double play. Not so much with Konerko.
That's right.
He just has to hit it in the area of one of the infielders.
Outfielders are playing Konerko to the opposite field. And this is a driving situation. Paulie usually has good left center field power.
Ramirez runs, so Robin Ventura trying to find a way to prevent a ground ball in a double play. Still 3-2.
That's why you send it. You send him there. Konerko has 39 strikeouts. So the chance of a strike him out, throw him out is possible. Kataris is back there. Doesn't quite have the arm that Salvador Perez, but he'll do his best. Just got to remember, a speedy guy at third base, you don't want to throw him a run. So if Alexi gets a good jump at first base, Kataris could put it in his pocket, not even throw. Another thing to watch for is James Shields directing traffic out there, the infielders and outfielders. He moves his guys.
And that is ball 4. And now the bases are loaded with 1 out. So 2 walks, a soft single, and a fly out to right. And there are 3 runners out there for Adam Dunn. Now, this is one of those matchups we were talking about early where there are some hitters who have really done well against Shields in the lineup for Chicago today, and others who have done next to nothing. Dunn would be one of the next to nothing guys. And Shields throws strike 1. As in 1 for 15 with 7 strikeouts.
Yep. So Escobar, the shortstop, is over on the second base side of the bag. So a ground ball to Moose. Moose will have to throw to Escobar. This will be a 5-6-3 double play if that would happen. But Dunn pulls most of the ball on the ground. You see how the infielders align.
1-1.
If you want to know what he's done career and his bases loaded, there you go. Hope we don't see that.
Well, I don't mind the bottom line of that.
No, this season 0 for 2. Yeah, but
Hosmer, a wicked one-hopper that went off of his glove. And Dunn will drive in 2. So De Aza and Ramirez come to the plate. And for Adam Dunn, just his 2nd career hit against James Shields, and the White Sox take a 2-0 lead.
Man, and he nearly undressed Eric Hosmer. Man, Eric's lucky he didn't get hurt with that line drive. And that was on the inner half. Dunn likes to pull the ball, and he got one. Now, Eric is a terrific fielder, but this short hop is in no man's land. That's all you can do is take a shot at it and hope it lands in your glove. Line shot with topspin on it. Hits that close to you. You do what Eric just did.
Diane Viciedo takes low, ball 1.
Okay, he's in good fielding position, but he just tried to just stay out of the way of it, basically.
Big swing, Viciedo. 1 ball, 1 strike. So with the 2 runs allowed in the first inning. James Shields has allowed 14 of his 35 runs this year in the first inning. And now Viciedo bloops it into shallow right. David Lowe, a running play. Konerko isn't going anywhere, so the Royals really benefited there from the runner at third, Konerko. 2 down.
Okay, David Lowe, he wasn't sure at first when the ball was hit, and then he had to come charging hard. Try to hit that cutoff man. Almost did. Hosmer got up and knocked it down. You don't want Dunn to advance, but of course Dunn's not gonna. Although he went back to tag.
Connor Gillespie with runners at first and third, 2 down. Shields jumps ahead with strike 1. Gillespie, a .254 hitter, and he has a 6-game hitting streak. This will be the 29th pitch of the inning for Shields. And it's hit on the ground foul past first base coach Darrell Boston. 0-2.
Four runs is the most he's given up in one inning, in the first inning anyway. And that was against the Philadelphia Phillies back April 7th.
The Royals came back and won that game.
Yeah, won 9-8.
Still 0-2. Connor Gillespie, born and raised in Omaha, played his college ball at Wichita State. Got him. It took 31 pitches and the White Sox score 2, but Shields is done with the first inning. '71 of the Royals' 72 games, but he is back in there today against White Sox right-hander Dylan Axelrod. Now, Salvador Perez is not in the lineup today, so this is a temporary lineup with Sal out. And yet there are a lot of pieces here, Hud, which I get the feeling Ned Yost would like the lineup to remain this way, with Hosmer batting third, Moustakas batting fifth.
And Alcides Escobar in that second slot. Esky, to me, is the perfect number 2 hitter because he can bunt, he hits behind runners. But when he was cold and they were looking for some offense back in May, they put him down that 9 hole, and now he's starting to respond. So I like the looks of that lineup.
Dylan Axelrod. And like other pitchers in the White Sox rotation, and in particular a couple of nights ago, Hector Santiago getting a chance because of injuries to their rotation, and big names like John Danks, who's active now, Gavin Floyd, done for the year, Jake Peavy's also on the DL.
Well, you know, he happened to be the pitcher when Jeremy Guthrie threw his complete game shutout, so that kind of hurt him a little bit. He only gave up 2 runs in that inning. It was back here at the K.
That was on May the 4th. 7 2/3 innings. 2 earned runs allowed by Axelrod. And Alex, good start for him. Base hit to right field. And he could take that 0 for 15, wad it up, and throw it in the garbage.
Well, just like the White Sox scored 2 in the first, the Royals can too, even though it's been since June 8th. Against the Astros, they scored 2 in the first, but that's the last time. They can do it too. They got to support James Shields. Might as well do it in the first inning. Defensively, the White Sox, you know, they're one of the worst fielding teams as far as errors go in the American League. However, Paul Konerko's not. He's having a solid year over there. Got a good glove. He catches everything that's at him, and he's got a good dig out of the dirt.
And Escobar dropping down a bunt.
Okay, great idea. There he is. He's back home in that number 2 spot. Fits his uniform number perfectly, and this is what you do. And we haven't seen a lot of bunting from him. However, assistant coach Pedro Gafal told me before the game today that they know that Dyson and Escobar and those guys have to bunt and get on base and stimulate the offense. Hurting for runs, play small ball. Get them on any way you can.
And put some pressure on that defense that you pointed out has been struggling.
Yes, pressure them. Oh, well, look at that.
That's just bad luck more than anything else. So a single, and now a soft liner that turns into a double play. In that game that Hud was talking about on May 4th, the Royals scored right away. They scored against him in the bottom of the first inning. Lorenzo Cain hit a 2-run triple to give Jeremy Guthrie an early lead, and that's all Guthrie needed as he pitched his first major league shutout.
Okay, you saw Rios there. He dove for that ball and almost caught it. That's a break. He didn't catch it. They caught a break. Now that last line out that Escobar doubled up with Gordon there, that was not a break. So, but do you let your dauber get down after that? Absolutely not. You turn the page as quick as the play happened. You got 2 outs, you keep going. You push, you push, you push. You attack, you keep pressing the envelope. It's the only way you're going to get out of your little 4-game losing streak.
Konerko throws to Axelrod. So James Shields had that long top of the first inning, and he's right back out there after Axelrod hits the Royals with just 7 pitches in the bottom of the first. pitch first inning as Dylan Axelrod, the White Sox starter, needed only 7 pitches to get to the Royals in the bottom of the first. 1-1 on Gordon Beckham. So 2 runs allowed by Shields in the first. And while his overall ERA is one of the best in the American League, 6th best in the American League, his first inning ERA is almost 8.
So you say, Dave Island, how do you fix that? And he says, well, we've had guys throw more pitches in the pin to make sure they're good and loose. Or we've had guys say, I'm just going to go out and establish my sinker, and that's it. That's all I'm going to throw in that first inning until I find strikes. But until you actually get out there, you don't know what's working. So that's another thing that people say, we can't answer that. Can't tell you why.
Off of Moustakas' glove and a base hit for Gordon Beckham. He's another one of those White Sox hitters that's done well against Shields in the past, and he has a leadoff single.
Okay, sinker ball pitchers give up hits like that. Moose did all he could. And Escobar couldn't get it. Whenever a ball's deflected, it's tough. Hitter's going to get a base hit all the time.
Hector Jimenez gets the start, and he tried to drag bunt 0-1. Tyler Flowers getting the day off, and Flowers prior to today was the only White Sox hitter who had driven in a run against James Shields in his first 14 innings against Shields this year, and that was a home run in Chicago on opening day.
You know, people in Kansas City know baseball. They know that there are peaks and valleys, and sometimes the valleys are low. But when you're in a valley like the Royals are in right now, there's a certain way that you carry yourself because it's important for body language. It's important to have energy. It's important the way you carry yourself at all times, but especially when you're in a little valley.
That's hit well to right field, and David Lowe got a good jump. Makes a play in front of the track. Beckham is back to first, 1 down.
But what I'm saying is this: the play that Moose tried, he gave a great effort there, but he laid on the ground for 4 seconds after that with his face in the dirt. That didn't look good. You could bounce right back up and get back out there and say, hey, bring me the next one. But this is a small example of what body language can do. Not only misses the ball, but there's no need to put your head down and lay there for 3 seconds. We all know you gave a great effort. Bounce back up. Show some life.
Energy.
Thank you. And it's not a
bounce back.
It's not a criticism. It's an example of body language in baseball, how you read it.
And for a lot of players with plays like that, they don't really know how that looks. They're not trying to suck the energy out.
Right.
It's just a way of dealing with the frustration of not making the play. He probably thought he should have made that play.
Right. So I was saying it's not a criticism, but it's something that, you know, he'll learn as he goes along about the game of baseball and how much is mental and how that persona looks, how the energy level looks.
De Anza opened the game with a walk and turned that into a run. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's always unfair to compare, and yet we do that a lot in the game. Hunter Dozier, for instance, the Royals' first-round pick. I mean, immediately it's, well, who can you compare him to? And it's normally somebody who's done really well in the major leagues, and that's just unfair. And at the same time, I love when there's a play like you were just talking about, if it pertains to anybody, 1 and 2, you think about who's the best player at that position in the big leagues and ask yourself, would he do something like that? You know, for instance, the example I love to use, and it's unfair because you're talking about a 1 in a million player, a once in a lifetime player, but Watching somebody like Derek Jeter every day. You know, would Derek Jeter do something like that?
Nope.
Escobar, diving play. Out at second, and Johnson somehow unloaded a throw. No double play, but impressive nonetheless. And the Royals get the lead runner at second base.
I mean, Elliott Johnson, he's getting an extended round of applause for just attempting to do that. I mean, he's got such a great arm. Okay, this is positive energy. Okay, you get one, some second basemen are going to step on that bag and say, all right, we got one, and not even attempt that throw. But Elliott just wound up and said, I'm going to get him, and almost did. That's good body language. Sense of urgency.
So Ramirez with a runner at first, 2 down. He singled in the first inning, making him 12 out of 30 in his career against James Shields, and he scored the second run in that first. Adam Dunn had the 2-run base hit that scored De Aza and Ramirez. One and one.
You're being watched in Major League Baseball. This is why they call it the show. Okay, this is the show for a reason. You get paid the big dough to play in the show, and that's what it is. You gotta go out and perform and know that you're being watched, even when the play's not on you.
By the fans, by your coaches, by your manager, by your teammates, and here's the one that a lot of guys don't consider: by scouts from other teams
that are looking for players for their team. You're always auditioning in your short career anyway. You're always looking for a job. Even if you think you're established, you're one big play or one injury away from being out. So there is a sense of urgency, even though some guys think that they're going to be around forever. It just doesn't happen in this game. Too many things happen.
And I think Elliott Johnson, we just had a shot of him. I think in the minds of many other organizations, HUD, at least at this point, I mean, we're only talking about game number 73, but I think for a lot of organizations now, they're reevaluating Elliott Johnson. Well, maybe he's not just a backup infielder. Maybe he's not just a bench player.
That's why, in infield, we used to have infield. They don't take that nowadays. They do it at other times of the day. We used to be infield 30 minutes before the game. And I needed that as a backup player. I needed that to stay fresh, but also because the scouts were watching, I wanted to audition. So I gave 100%. I took infield like it was my game because I wanted somebody to see something that maybe they might want me.
Backhand Escobar, much easier play for both Escobar and Johnson. So that's the inning. Good defensive play by Escobar. Helped Shields get through the second. White Sox lead 2-0. So he's the guy to keep an eye on if we need some help at the ballpark today.
Okay. He's going to get up and get prepared. I think he wants to catch a foul ball, and he's in the wrong place because he's behind the screen. He's going to say, hey, look, I got to get up there where I can catch one.
The hat, by the way, says no crybabies. Billy Butler, Mike Moustakas, David Lowe. 0-2 from Axelrod to Billy, who is hitless in the series, but as the league continues to pitch him carefully and oftentimes out of the strike zone, he has walked 3 times and now has 43 for the year. Only Miguel Cabrera has more in the American League. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Okay, but Billy, they haven't pitched him the way that they did last year. Okay, we know that. But he's got to continue to take his walks and try not to miss his pitches because he's been missing a few pitches. Okay, this guy's not overpowering Dylan Axelrod. You saw that fastball, 85-90. He's got a good slider and a changeup. But he's not anything like James Shields as far as success goes as an ace. He's a middle-of-the-road starter. You would think that maybe we could jump on this guy.
A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And middle of the road is no slight, Ryan. Okay, middle of the road big league pitchers make about $8 to $10 million a year. So that's no slight. I'm just saying, compared to apples and oranges and grapes, this guy's oranges. You would hope that the ball looked like it was a cantaloupe, but
so who would a grape be?
Is a guy like James Shields or CC Sabathia, or somebody that makes the ball look like small as a grape.
So the apples are the bad guys, the oranges are the middle of the road guys, and the grapes are the really good guys.
As long as you understand what I'm saying, I'm trying to get it there, but sometimes it just has a hard time. It's a day game, but I'm excited to be here. I'm waiting for the fans to get excited too. I'm hoping Moose can hit him a Moose bomb. Be really nice.
He has 3 consecutive multi-hit games. And while I'm sure he's not bragging about a .201 batting average, that looks a lot better than when he was stuck in the 180s for a long time. So headed in the right direction. 4 hits in this series, including an RBI. Off speed. And Axelrod, not known for his strikeouts, has 2 in the second inning.
That's not a middle-of-the-road changeup either. That's a great changeup. Look at that. That particular pitch there might have been up a little bit, but the movement away off the plate to a lefty, that's what you want. Look at the release point. Okay, he's got the ball in the back 3 fingers. You see the sideward movement, which is you wish a hitter would wish he could slow the ball down like we are for the fans at home.
Fair ball. It went over the bag. Konerko, White Sox first baseman, doesn't think so. He put his head down in frustration right away, but David Lowe is at second base with 2 down, and the White Sox are going to argue it. Manager Robin Ventura is out of the third base dugout. First base umpire is Dan Bellino.
Okay, Dan's pretty much straddling that line. You can see it. Ventura has a pretty good angle from his dugout. But Lowe got an inside pitch, and he just raked it out. Rusty Coons and the umpire are pointing fair. First base coach Darryl Boss is pointing foul. Or excuse me, first baseman Konerko. But anyway, went over the bag. It's over the base. Konerko's the one pointing foul. Okay, now you see David Lowe take a peek as he gets 15 steps before second base, and he's looking at the third base coach. He's doing that for a reason. When the ball is behind you and you can't turn, now he sees it there, but now he's going to head on and look to go to third base. But he picks up the third base coach, and Eddie's got the stop sign up saying, "Don't come." So, good base running technique there by David Lowe. Fundamentally sound. Ventura, he's not a real animated, passionate manager. He's going to go out and throw his hands up. But he got his point across. He thought it was foul.
Well, we have a moment. Parents, remember, plenty of time to sign your kids up for Slugger's Blue Crew, brought to you by the Learning Quest 529 Education Savings Program. A Gray batting practice jersey, a Royals hat, blue wristbands, ticket vouchers, priority access for the Sunday Fun Run, and much more for just $25. And you can sign up right now at Royals.com/Blue Crew. So Elliott Johnson with a runner in scoring position. He's after the first pitch, and Viciedo is back, and he makes the play right in front of the warning track. So Lowe doubles with 2 outs. He is stranded in scoring position. The White Sox lead 2-0 at the end of 2. Pasta the Panera way. Live consciously, eat deliciously. And by Ford. See the new F-150 at your Midwest Ford dealer today. Alex Rios going after a pitch that was up and in and fouls it away against James Shields. Shields got Rios to fly out to right in the first inning. White Sox scored their 2 runs in the first on Adam Dunn's 2-run single. And now Rios hit by a breaking ball.
Well, at 50 pitches thrown, James Shields, it's obvious to me he doesn't have his command. Now, he does have the ability, and he's shown plenty of times this year in that royal blue uniform that he has the ability to shut the opponents down the rest of the way. But he does not have his great command. And it's going to happen.
Well, Konerko walked in the first inning. Strike 1 from Shields.
That's the 4th hit batter of the year for James Shields. Not a real high mark. Guthrie's got 5.
One and one. I think it was Tom Seaver, the Hall of Fame pitcher, who said in breaking down each season, generally speaking, a third of the time you're going to have your A game. And for a guy like Tom Seaver, I mean, thanks for playing. See you next time.
Right, Hall of Fame.
A third of the time you've got something to work with. You've got your good stuff, maybe not your great stuff. And then a third of the time you don't have your good stuff. And the difference between guys like James Shields and pitchers who have a similar arsenal, in that third when they don't have their good stuff, they lose. And they also lose some games when they don't have their great stuff. But the guys like Shields, and we've seen Jeremy Guthrie do it a few times this year, still find a way when they don't have their A game, or oftentimes when they don't have their B game.
And speaking of Tom Seaver, he hosted a luncheon for the Royals pitchers on their off day when they were in California, May 16th. Dave Ireland and whoever on the pitching staff were invited to come out to Tom Seaver's beautiful vineyard he's got in Napa Valley. And Tom Seaver shared. He showed all of his, his accolades in his career. He talked about that. How do you pitch with your good stuff? How do you pitch on days where you're not? He gave them a wealth of knowledge. And that's, of course, Dave Ireland and Jeff Davenport set that up. But that's a tremendous opportunity for pitchers. And he talked a lot about pitching when you don't have your best stuff. But there's that great changeup by James Shields. That works every time. Nothing wrong with the throw. Good release point by Kataris.
Strike two, Adam Dunn, who had a 2-run single in the first inning. He had been 1 for 15 prior to that against Shields. And he drove in De Aza and Ramirez. One ball, one strike. White Sox have really spread their offensive production out evenly in this series. They have scored 14 runs in the 3 games with RBIs from 7 different hitters. Two and one. And again, Kataris wants to have a word with Shields. So the Royals will need to support Shields with at least 3 today. They'd like more, obviously. Our Toyota League leaders, and it reminds us how hard runs have been to come by for James Shields. Only Chris Sale, whom Shields faced the first 2 times he pitched against the White Sox this year, has worse run support. Hit well to center. Dyson back, all the way back, and it's over the wall for a 2-run home run. The White Sox lead 4-0, and Adam Dunn has driven in all 4.
Okay, as big and strong as he is, he doesn't have to swing hard. He just put a nice, easy pass on the ball. Ball was down. He almost one-handed it out of the yard here at the K. Look at that. When you're a big guy like that, and you put a nice, easy swing on, and you meet the ball just right, he basically one-handed that to dead center. 420 maybe. We'll get the exact read on that. And for James Shields, that's only his 3rd home run given up to a left-handed batter. But he's very strong in his lower body. He had good bend in his knees, able to get down and get that.
1-1 on Viciedo. He flied to right in the first inning.
You see a guy that's 6'5" go down and get an excellent pitch like that. It certainly was not a mistake. You have to adjust and watch his knee. Watch his knee right here bend. Okay, he's going to go down and get it, especially with the back leg. The back leg's bending too, and so that helps him get down there low enough to get those long arms extended.
And just to add to it, it has been hot this weekend in Kansas City. We've been in the 90s, and it's only going to get hotter this week. So the ball's going to carry more now, obviously, than it did earlier in the year, but there was no wind involved at all. I mean, that was just Adam Dunn's brute strength with basically a one-arm swing to the deepest part of the ballpark. Two and two. This is James Shields' 16th start, and it is only the 3rd time he has allowed more than 3 runs.
Nothing wrong with that. once in a while, you can expect your offense, you'd hope they could pick you up.
He has 3 strikeouts as he gets Viciedo 2 down.
That's a nice 4-seam fastball there. That's by design. So the 4-seam, you grab it across the 4 seams up there, the cross, the big horseshoe on the ball, and it stays straight. 2-seam, stay on top of the seams, and the ball runs down and in. That's what they say. He's got a 4 and a 2-seamer. Baseball jargon.
Gillespie struck out swinging at a cut fastball in the first inning. Down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. The Adam Dunn home run is the 10th for the White Sox this year against the Royals in 9 games. He had a couple of big home runs in game 1 on Friday night. Viciedo had a 3-run home run. De Aza a 2-run home run. Royals kept the White Sox in the ballpark yesterday afternoon, but Chicago still won 3-2. 2-2. "70 pitches for Shields, and there are 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Great changeup. 4 strikeouts for Shields. But right now he's thinking about the Adam Dunn home run, which has given Chicago a 4-0 lead. And the Royals will be on the road after that for 4 in Minnesota. And next Saturday, the Royals will have an official watch party presented by Miller Lite at KC Live in the Power and Light District. The game will not be broadcast here on Fox Sports Kansas City, but you can watch it at KC Live. The party starts at 2 p.m. with entertainment and great prizes for all ages. And then take in the Royals and the Twins at 3:10. So Dylan Axelrod has a 4-0 lead thanks to all 4 runs driven in by Adam Dunn. George Kataris getting a rare start today behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. He has 1 at-bat in this series, and that was in the game on Friday night.
Okay, now he elects to use the sunglasses to hit, and if you're comfortable, there's nothing better. What an invention those sunglasses are. That cuts the glare down. Now he's using the amber lens. They have different colored lenses for any type of condition that's being playable that day. Amber brightens things up. It makes it look livelier.
Beckham on the edge of the outfield grass throws out Gutierrez, 1 down.
Bright sunny days cut the glare out like Beckham's doing, wearing right there. And it's a big, big difference on the eyes.
Speaking of bright and sunny, here's Joel.
I don't even know what to say to that, but thank you, Ryan. Bright and sunny might be Gerard Dyson. He's happy to be back up, and starting was going so well when he got hurt. He said he's basically at top speed now. He was in a funk in the minors and slumping, but trying to get out of that. And as for scaling the wall on a ball that he was never going to catch, I mean, he's a guy that believes that he can beat anybody in a race, beat anybody jumping. But he said that next time, if I can get my glove on it, I'm still going. I'm still going to play hard, but only if I can get to it. So a painful learning experience for Gerard Dyson, but he'll give it a try again if he can get it.
Trying to bunt his way on. Thank you, Joel. And Dyson wasn't the only reason, but the Royals were really playing well up until his injury, and he was leading off. Ned Yost had given him the opportunity to be the center fielder and leadoff man. He was doing well. The team was playing well. And the slide, the 8 and 20 slide in the month of May, coincided with, or very close to coincided with Dyson going on the disabled list. So he has his first hit since returning. He's on with 1 out.
Yeah, and you know what he has is what they need. That's energy and speed and a chance to get on base and stir something up. I mean, he's an important member of this Kansas City Royals team, and Ned Yost sees that. There's a ball on the inside, jammed him a little, but perfect. There's a little break right there. Rios didn't catch it.
Just to add some numbers to it, Hud, when Dyson was hurt, the Royals were 3 games above 500. And now he's back, and the Royals are 4 games below 500. Good luck. That was a jump and a half off of Axelrod. So Dyson has been on base twice since coming back from the DL. Once as a pinch runner, and now running after a single, and he's 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts.
Ken, look at that takeoff. The takeoff is really quick. Okay, now he's built low to the ground anyway, and you like to see guys come out their first 2 steps low, so that that's like a track runner comes out of the blocks low and then gradually stands up. But Dyson, it don't matter. That dude, he's just so quick. It's his 8th bag, and he's missed a month.
So Alex with a chance to drive him in. Alex snapped a personal 0 for 15 with a leadoff single in the bottom of the first. His first leadoff hit since May the 17th. And now another base hit. So Dyson will score easily, and the Royals are on the board. That's a nice combo. Dyson gets on, he steals the base, and Alex gets him home.
Whatever it takes, and Ned's looking for some magic some way, somehow. Good to see Gordon. First 2 times up, square up the ball in both of them. Pulled the first one in the hole between the first and second baseman, and this one here, just a nice clean single on a ball up and away. That's what a stolen base will do, just like that. I mean, you know, it seems pretty simple at times, yet so hard other times to score a run.
Escobar hit a soft liner to first in the first inning that Konerko caught and doubled up Gordon. Now Dylan Axelrod off to a good start with the first 2 innings and now giving up a run in the third, but he is coming off 2 bad starts against Toronto and Minnesota. Now no decision in both, but having allowed 10 earned runs, 4 home runs in his previous 10 innings.
Someone else is doing it. Royals can too.
And Escobar asks for time and walks out as Axelrod was taking too long. And we mentioned this in the first inning. Salvador Perez is not in the lineup today, so Ned Yost had to move some pieces around. But at the same time, this is, I think, the lineup, close to the lineup that he was hoping for, maybe at least the top 5 hitters. There's a strike to Escobar. The top 5 hitters coming out of spring training. Gordon, Escobar, Hosmer batting 3rd, Butler 4th, Moustakas 5th. And also being able to alternate right-handed and left-handed bats.
Okay, he likes to hit the ball in that direction, does Escobar. But also they're pitching him in. He could pull the ball by Gillespie, the third baseman, who's in. So there's a couple of lanes that he can use. Hector Jimenez, the catcher for the White Sox, called timeout there, and home plate umpire Bruce Streckman pointed that out. Lots of times when a timeout is called, the pitcher's getting ready to deliver that ball, umpires will point whoever asks for time. Oh, I didn't do it. He did it. He'll point to the hitter. He did it. For whatever reason. You want to let the pitcher know? And we'll see now. Gordon got a couple of stolen bases. I think Alex could steal 15, 20 bases a year if given the opportunity. May not have Dyson type speed, but heck of a good enough athlete to do it. Doinker.
And now just foul by a couple of inches.
Doinker, it almost happened. The backside falls out, but the head and hands stay right there on the outside pitch. And you see a lot of hits like that make hitters happy and pitchers not so happy. There you go. There's a good sample of what he does. Pull the ball by the third baseman, hit it by the first baseman over there. He's got his game down pretty well, but still would like to see him execute his bunts more often, because that's what made him so effective last season.
And interesting, too, a hitter of his style not using the middle of the field as often. Alex started to go and stopped, and Escobar pops it up. Ramirez makes the play near the mound. Alcides is 0 for 2. And now Hosmer, who grounded out to Konerko in the first inning. Konerko made a nice backhanded play. Hosmer has 4 hits in the series. 3 have been for extra bases. And there goes Alex. The pitch is low, and Alex has his 3rd stolen base.
Hey, there you go. Nice takeaway. He let him steal. That's good. Get him in scoring position. Now with 2 outs, a doinker, any kind of something scores him. You have to utilize what you have, and that's speed. If you're looking to score runs, by golly, you got to move them. You've got to start putting some action on them out there. Pressure the defenses. There's no power. None. I mean, occasionally you see one.
But this is not a big inning offense.
No.
If there's better execution, at least to this point,
but you can,
game number 73, you can score 1 here and 1 there.
But you can win. You can win baseball games with different style offenses. All depends on how you put it together.
To Konerko, who blocked it and goes to the bag unassisted to end the inning. Royals are on the board as Dyson singles, steals second. Gordon gets him home. It's 4-1 Chicago. advocate, donor, and board member of the YMCA Challenger program. Ed has served numerous hours since he started as a volunteer in the program for children and young adults with special needs. Each year, Ed coaches his son Andrew's Challenger teams. As Dyson runs down a fly ball off the bat of Gordon Beckham. 1 pitch, 1 out. Shields needed that here in the 4th. So Ed Hubbard, along with his son Andrew and his wife Tracy, sitting in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seats at today's game.
Ryan, what Ed does is extremely valuable to those that have special needs, because those kids love baseball just like his son sitting next to him on his left. But they don't get a chance to play. They don't have any fields to play on. Some of them have wheelchairs. Some of them can't negotiate a baseball field. So there's special fields out there. Hearts like this guy are huge, that he understands they all love baseball but don't all get the chance. So Challenger Baseball gives people and kids like my son and others around a chance to play baseball. I love the guy. Congratulations.
1-1 on Hector Jimenez. He lined out to deep right in the 2nd inning. 30-year-old Hector Jimenez, and this is his first year where he made an opening day big league roster. He's had 2 good swings today. There's a base hit to left field. He's on with 1 out. A look at today's Time Warner pitch speed comparison. Axelrod 94 or 91 rather. James Shields at 94. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet.
Hector Jimenez just got that base hit off of one of the best pitchers in the American League. Can credit the fact that he perseveres and didn't quit and didn't give up. It's very difficult to become a major league player just for a year or just for a cup of coffee. They call for a couple of weeks, especially after spending a lot of time in the minors. Think about how easy it is to get discouraged. But you got to believe in your heart that you can make it, and that's how you become something. To be the best in the world at your profession, it takes time and it takes dedication. It takes a passion. You got to have a lot of encouragement around you, and if you don't, you better find somebody who can encourage you to stay positive. That kid's done it.
Signed professionally in 2000, so this is his 14th professional year and his first on an opening day roster. Now De Aza singles to center field, so back-to-back hits with 1 out. Second time that De Aza has been on base.
Okay, nothing wrong with the pitch. It's out over the middle of the plate, but it's down. And that's where you want to make your living, and that's where James Shields makes his living. So you credit the hitter. White Sox coming here to Kauffman Stadium, scraping the barrel of the Central, and all of a sudden they're looking at a sweep on Sunday. Everything is contagious in baseball, winning and losing. People say, well, why do you keep saying that? It's because that's the way this game is. That's the way it works in baseball. Look at the Toronto Blue Jays. How many people wrote them off when they were picked to win the division in the East this year? And now look at them. What do they won? 10, 11 in a row now?
10 in a row, and they're above 500.
Okay, when you're at 500, you're in the game. That's got to be the Royals' battle cry. Work yourself back. But look where they are now. You see that? There you go. Double them up. Good try. Anyway, the Blue Jays are back in it. You have a chance, but you got to set your mark on playing fundamental baseball to get back to 500.
Very easy for a lot of us to root for the Blue Jays when they're not playing the Royals with John Gibbons as their manager. Spent some time here as the Royals bench coach and one of the great human beings in this game. How about that? Everybody in the division is above 500.
That race will come right down to the last day of the season. And with the extra wild card, someone's going to get it. It'll be decided probably on the last day, too. Maybe a one-game playoff.
Second time that Rios today has swung at a pitch like that from Shields. That was just as close to hitting him as it was, or closer to hitting him than it was into the strike zone. Rios was hit by a pitch, hit by a curveball in the third inning, stole a base and scored. Right center field, Dyson with that great closing speed. He made that look routine. So Rios is out, and so are the Sox in the fourth inning. Chicago leads 4-1. T-shirt Tuesday. The day after tomorrow is the next installment. The Atlanta Braves are in town for a quick two-game series. 7:10 on Tuesday. The gates open at 5:30, and the first 10,000 fans receive a Big Game James T-shirt, courtesy of another Big Game James, James B. Nutter. Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday or 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. I thought, and I wasn't here, but watching it on TV and just hearing the stories about the All-Star game last season, and it applies with Billy Butler digging in. The biggest highlight perhaps was the long, loud, and extended standing ovation that he got when they were announcing the American League team. 0-1 on Billy. And related to that was the treatment that Robinson Cano received, or some people might say earned, during the home run derby for snubbing Billy Butler. I thought third was Chipper Jones in his last year as a major leaguer, and showing some respect to Kauffman Stadium and Royals fans, expressing publicly that one of his regrets, and I'm sure he has very few in a future Hall of Fame career, was that he never got a chance to play in Kansas City. And boy, the fans really appreciated that when he batted in the All-Star game, came up as a pinch hitter, and fans gave him a nice, big, loud standing ovation.
Maybe he'll accompany the Braves next week when they come. And that was special, though, Ryan. It really was. You know, All-Star games are special. And for the K, as beautiful as this newly remodeled stadium is, to be able to show the world, look, it's no secret anymore. People come here and they marvel at the yard, how beautiful it is. Billy hanging alive there, trying to get anything he can. Down the count like this is what you do. You foul off pitches until you wait for a cookie.
You know, just to add to that, too, our director, Steve Kurtenbach, reminded me that Billy Butler's idol when he was a kid was Chipper Jones. And Can you imagine when he was a little kid if somebody said, Billy, someday you're going to be in an all-star game with Chipper Jones?
Ooh.
So he's an all-star. He is a proven major league hitter, but I'm guessing the little kid inside of him was sweating out of his pores when he was hanging around Chipper Jones at the all-star game.
Billy Butler. My kids sat with me in the stands with the other thousands of people that packed this house, and they came from California. They didn't know who Billy was, and the next morning they were all chanting Billy's name. It was special.
Right to Beckham. I mean, he couldn't have thrown it to Beckham any better. One down in the fourth. So one down to Mike Moustakas, and Axelrod struck him out with a changeup in the second.
Okay, look at Billy, short and compact. That's a beautiful stroke right there. Nothing you can do. Unfortunately, it's happened to Billy a lot this year. Hit it hard. That's all you can do. I heard that this morning at my kids' Little League game, a tournament out there in Lawrence this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. Coach is saying, that's okay. Keep your head up. That's all you can do is hit it hard.
Richie Allen, and if Paul Splittorff was still with us, he would have gone into a cold sweat if I brought up Richie Allen's name. But I thought Richie Allen had one of the great lines about that. He said, all I can do is hit it hard. It's up to God after that.
That's the truth.
Cold foul past Rusty Kuhn. Still 1-2.
Hey, Moose is coming. He's starting to get better. I mean, I like his rhythm. We noticed it yesterday. He's starting to move that bat a little bit. You know, he's moving his legs. He's getting some movement going. He feels, you know, I can tell he's relaxed a lot more up there.
Two and two. Axelrod allowed a RBI single to Alex Gordon in the third inning, and that's all in 3 1/3, and he's been backed by 4 early runs. All the runs driven in by White Sox designated hitter Adam Dunn. Three and two. Other signs that Mike Moustakas is getting back on track. We've seen this quite a few times over the past week, falling behind in the count early, and whether he's reached or not, at the minimum, working the count, getting back to 3 balls, 2 strikes as he's done here. And he hits it in the air to right field, and Rios will bring it down for the out.
Coming closer. He just got under it.
David Lowe doubled with 2 outs in the second inning. Continues to play well since being called up. Remember, you can vote for the Royals Player of the Month, sponsored by Majestic and Rally House. Vote at Rally House stores and get a chance to go on field and meet the winning player.
Man, that would be awesome for a fan. How about Fire Captain Chris Bergman, Station 11 in Kansas City, Kansas. Big fan of the Royals. Giving him a little shout out here. Captain, get your vote in there. Maybe you can get on the field with David Lowe,
who has a pair of 2-out hits today. A double in the second, and now a 2-out single in the fourth.
I mean, does he always get hits with 2 outs?
Gets a lot of RBIs with 2 outs.
Look at that. Love that slow motion replay. That's called hitting it right back where it came from.
Elliott Johnson flied to deep left first time up. Had a good swing against Axelrod. Didn't quite get enough of it, and Viciedo made the play near the warning track.
He got some good wood on that ball. He didn't normally go that way with authority. The wind is pushing out that way. Looks like it's blowing center field. Straight out.
Lowe started to go, didn't like his jump, and it's a good thing because the White Sox were pitching out. 1-1. The Royals already have 2 stolen bases off of Axelrod and Jimenez today. Dyson and Gordon actually both stealing bases in the same inning, the third. Again, starting and stopping David Lowe outside, 2-1 on Johnson.
Well, Hector Jimenez, we've seen him attempt to throw out a couple of base stealers who've been successful this afternoon. Gordon and Dyson. He's thrown out 29.4% of attempted base stealers this season. That's a nice mark, especially for a guy who doesn't catch all the time. So he's got good catch and throw skills.
Lowe running this time, and it's fouled away, 2-2.
It's nice to have a backup catcher that can do little things for you. You know, when you play once a week. And for him, he's trying to help out Axelrod here. Axelrod's a little bit slow home.
One hop to Konerko. He's to the bag, and that's the inning. So Axelrod has given up 1 run in his 4 innings. The White Sox have a 4-1 lead.
Toronto Blue Jays, Edwin Encarnacion, also pronounced Encarnacion, his 21st home run. Colby Rasmus, he goes deep too. It is 11 wins in a row if they hold on. And how about these American League news and notes? John Gibbons, I think Ryan said it best before, one of the most well-liked managers and people in baseball. Max Scherzer goes to 11-0 last night, and Texas is on a roll. Paul Konerko starts things off with a hit against James Shields, which brings up Adam Dunn and Ryan, 426 career home runs and just 1 off of James Shields.
Thank you, Joel. And now, Joel, I don't want you to feel badly.
Here comes the Split story.
Yep, here comes the Paul Splittorff story. And I'm looking at Doc Carruthers, our stage manager, who spent a lot of time with Split over the years. And I believe he was in the booth when, and there's Doc. Wave to the folks, Doc. our great stage manager. And, of course, we went over this story 1,000 times before Split's passing. But, of course, after he died, we got together and we started sharing some of the great Split stories of all time. And Bob Davis and Doc Carruthers, I think if there was one story that was told more than any other, was Paul Splittorff trying to say Juan Encarnacion. And I think he tried, what, Doc, about 7 times, I believe. He finally got it out, right? The story was he got into Encarnacion. He just couldn't get out of it.
And that was the only name, right? I mean, there are a lot of good ones out there. Harry Carey struggled with quite a few of them. He was okay with the Frank Catalanados of the world, but just not the Juan Encarnacions.
Well, Joel, just take some comfort in knowing that somewhere today you just put a big smile on Split's face.
Yeah, he's just wishing that I messed it up as bad as he did. And in case you're interested, and I was looking this up, I was trying to figure out how many different pitchers Adam Dunn has homered off of, and it just took me too long to get there. But his first career home run was July 27th, 2001, off of Matt Clement and the Florida Marlins.
Remember Matt Clement?
You know, I don't know if you guys get a chance to talk to any of these guys, but Adam Dunn, what a guy, what a personality, friendly, nice, you know, very cordial, engaging. He'll talk to you. Big guy. Can be intimidating.
At one time, he was at the University of Texas to play quarterback.
Oh.
That kind of an athlete. That is the third walk allowed by James Shields. And the White Sox have 2 on with nobody out. And his next pitch, Shields' next pitch, will be number 90. And speaking of Dunn, who has driven in all 4 runs, he's a subject of our AT&T Uverse Rewind.
Okay, there it was. First time he's homered off of ace James Shields. And it looked like a routine flyout. But as strong as he is, he's able to carry it, and because he got those long arms extended.
Line to left, and Alex will make the play to retire Diane Viciedo.
So with a pitch count up at 90, nothing would make James happier than a little ground ball double play here.
J.C. Gutierrez is just starting to warm up. And remember, James Shields has the longest streak of consecutive starts with at least 6 innings in the major league going back to last year. And I mean, it's not even close. I want to say he has 15 more than the next closest. It is 29 straight starts of at least 6 innings. And so he's going to have to get some quick outs in this inning and hope that he'll get a chance to pitch in the 6th.
Double play ball would help him.
And 2 on Gillespie, who has struck out twice against Shields, swinging at a changeup and swinging at a slider.
Okay, well, James is trying. Those are the pitches that bring the double play. You see Gillespie trying to roll over and hook it. You might think that Dunn, as big as he is, could be intimidating coming in to break up a double play. You're right.
Escobar is out from shortstop, now battling the sun a bit, but makes the play, 2 down.
But fortunately for most second basemen, Dunn, he's not the quickest guy, so he has a hard time getting down. But if there is a bobble or anything, you better make sure you get up off the base.
Gordon Beckham had an infield single in the 2nd inning and then lined to center in the 4th. He got a day off yesterday. He ended up batting late in the game. but he was on the disabled list early in the year with a broken left wrist. And so Robin Ventura, similar to what Ned Yost has done with Lorenzo Cain, just tries to find a game every week, give him a break. For Cain, it's his legs, and for Beckham, it's the wrist.
Well, we saw him come in as a pinch hitter for his first pinch hit opportunity of the year in yesterday's game. Late. We were expecting a bunt, and he didn't bunt. And so you mentioned that he had great numbers against Wade Davis.
Greg Holland.
I'm sorry, yeah, it was against Holland. And I went in and talked to Robin Ventura today. I said, Robin, what's the deal? I mean, does anybody bunt anymore? And he said, Hud, I want the opposition to think we're bunting. And he alluded to the fact, which you told me, which explained it, his numbers were great against Holland. So he trusted his young second baseman to get a big hit.
Johnson flips to Escobar, and the inning is over. And to Robin Ventura's credit, it worked yesterday.
It did.
He would have that look on his face, and we would say, now, Split, why did you have that look before you would pitch? And his response was, because I was thinking to myself, oh, man, this is going to hurt. Well, don't forget, fans, the Royals have that watch party coming up on Saturday at KC Live in the Power and Light District. And we'll be giving away a dugout suite to a future game, and admittance is free. So we hope to see you this Saturday at 2 p.m. for the Royals and the Twins at P&L. George Kataris into deep right field, and Rios is back to the screen, and it is way gone. Kataris clears the right field bullpen for his second home run of the year.
A souvenir over that part of the ballpark is a blast. Uncle George, way to check in. Look at this. That's seen on the inner half saying, hit me out of the yard. How he catches it on the back underside. The ball starts spinning backwards, and it catches some air, and it goes out of the park. And it was an easy swing, too. A lot like Adam Dunn's. If you catch the ball right, it's going to go.
Dyson trying to bunt his way on. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So what I'm seeing from Gerard Dyson, we can't take it away from George. Let's give George a little more love. And he gave that kid a ball. That kid's pumped. He's happy. Way to go, George. You do one good thing as a big leaguer, you've had a good game. And especially when you play once every 2 weeks.
Dyson into the corner. That's gone. Where have you been, Gerard Dyson?
Shock the house. We got back-to-back jacks. For the first time this season, we've got back-to-back Royals going yard.
By guys who each had one home run coming into the game today. First time since the middle of September last year, the Royals have gone back-to-back. And now Alex Gordon, who's 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and an RBI. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, while they're at it, why not back-to-back-to-back? And
that would be 2006. Tony Graffinino, Angel Baroa, and Doug Minkiewicz. That's a mouthful. That was against the Tigers in 2006. The last time the Royals have gone back-to-back-to-back. That is a fair ball. That ball just plugged right in front of home plate and inside the line, if not right on the line. And so Jimenez just picked it up and tagged out Alex, who did not argue with home plate umpire Bruce Streckman, but Ned Yost nonetheless going to go out and have a word with him over that call.
Ned's just making sure he didn't hit off his foot. Right? Too bad. If the ball stays in front of the plate, it's in play. And it just deadened right there. And you could see Hector Jimenez says, I'm going to get it before it rolls foul. And it was an inch on the line.
Ball 1-2 Escobar. He is 0 for 2. Royals down by 1 in the 5th inning. And Escobar into the left field corner. Viciedo will not get there. Escobar is into second base with a double. Tying run in scoring position with 1 out.
Okay, let's check out Gerard Dyson here, who the pitch before he was bunting. And he said, I'm not going to bunt this time, I'm going to swing. And it was up and in. And he pulled his hands in and caught the ball right, just like Kataras. Same thing. Didn't try to do too much. Look at it, he didn't even stride. Caught it perfectly. We'll show you the hit speed. Gerard Dyson, the hit speed at 96.5 off of his bat. Season average is C74.40. When you put a jolt in it, it goes. Donnie Cooper says, you know what? I don't know what's going on. But all of a sudden, third time around, the Royals are starting to click.
Eric Hosmer twice has grounded out to Konerko at first base. A little bit inside for ball 1.
Yes, but he's still coming in on Royals hitters. There you go, third time through. Sometimes, you know, offenses are catching up on a pitcher.
He is not a so-called stuff pitcher. going the other way and fouling it away. Axelrod more relies on control and movement. And it is typically, not all the time, but typically the so-called stuff pitchers who have an above average fastball or changeup or breaking ball, they're the ones that get better as time goes, whereas more finesse control guys are the ones that get into trouble the longer they go. Over the inside, Hosmer jumping back as if it was off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Okay, so then he's got that little 2-seamer that runs away. There's a 4-seamer there at 88. Stayed straight. That was a purpose pitch. That is the same place he threw it to Dyson.
He thought about it and was able to check. Mike Everett is the third base umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's Nate Jones getting loose.
Escobar back ahead of the pickoff attempt. Hosmer is homered in this series. That was the only run in the game on Friday. It was the longest home run of his career. 455 feet into the water in right center field. Inside, 3-2. Up the middle, Axelrod protecting himself as much as anything else, and he throws out Hosmer. Escobar holds at second, 2 down.
Okay, good try. It's an atom ball. And great reaction time by Axelrod. Okay, 3-2. He's going to challenge him here. Hosmer squared it up. 1 hopper. I mean, looks like Axelrod caught it behind him. What a nice reaction there it was.
So he gets Hosmer, and now will face Billy Butler with Escobar at second base, 2 down. Billy is struck out and lined to second. Couldn't have hit it any harder in the 4th inning, but right at Beckham, the White Sox second baseman. Grounded left side, base hit. Escobar is around third, and Billy Butler ties the game at 4.
Way to pick up James Shields. Way to match the 4. And hopefully they'll push it on forward here with Moose, as Axelrod is having a tough time with the Royals here in the 5th inning. Nice to see. Like to see Billy hit a homer, but why not get a lousy single and tie it? Stayed on top. Top spin, gets through the infield quickly.
And now Mike Moustakas. That pitch had some run on it. In for a strike, 0-1. Moustakas has struck out and flied to right field.
Okay, now see if he pitches Moose inside like he has everybody else in this inning. Moose has got to be looking in there. They're going to try to stay away.
And it was down and in. So that's a sign that the lights are starting to flicker for Axelrod. Missed his target by quite a bit.
That's what you wait for. Wait him out. Get your ball you can handle and drive. He just missed his last at bat. He got up underneath it.
Ooh. Fouled off of Jimenez's mask. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
see that body language by Jimenez? What did that tell you? Watch this. This is hits him squarely. Well, a little bit off to the side, but watch it. Takes his mask off, and he says, "Give me another ball. Bring it. I waited a long time to be here. That ain't gonna faze me."
Still 1-2. One run in the third, 3 in the fifth. More runs today for the Royals than they scored in the first 2 games of the series. Ooh. Jimenez and Axelrod wanted that call. They didn't get it from Bruce Streckman, and Moustakas still alive at 2-2. Looked like the right call.
It was a really good spot.
Ground ball, base hit right field. So Moustakas got another pitch. He jumped on it, has a 2-out single, and he's 1 for 3.
Well, one thing we know for sure in this rally, we talk about things being contagious. David Logan hit with 2 outs. We know that. So maybe he'll keep it going here. But Moose does. The job is that ball was up, and obviously Robin Ventura, second-year skipper for the White Sox, says it's time to get my guy out. I got to go to the pin.
So Dylan Axelrod, who had a 4-0 lead at the end of 2.5 innings, departs without getting through the fifth in a 4-4 tie. On Nate Jones, a right-hander, to face left-hand hitting David Lowe with 2 on 2 out, and Lowe is already 2 for 2 today.
Okay, keep it going. Even though there's a little break in the action with a pitching change, the momentum is still there with 2 outs. And James Shields, he needs a run to at least qualify for a W. His pitch count is up, but David Lowe helped earlier, sliced that ball right over the bag. And then hits a rocket right back up the middle. Folks are starting to get geeked here at the K. They sense it coming. Give James the lead.
Ball 1 very high. David Lowe with 11 RBIs since joining the Royals, 9 with 2 outs. He is hitting almost .390 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. And both of his hits today have come with 2 outs.
He throws hard, Nate Jones.
Popped it up to the left side. Gillespie Brings it down for the out. The Royals get 3. They hit back-to-back home runs. George Kataris leads off with his second of the year. Gerard Dyson follows. Far, he is homered back-to-back with Gerard Dyson, accounting for the first 2 runs of a 3-run 5th inning as the Royals have come back from 4-0 to tie it. And a Chevy call to the bullpen, J.C. Gutierrez. And this is noteworthy because James Shields had gone 29 consecutive starts of going at least 6 innings, which was the longest streak in the major leagues by 15. And that comes to an end. Royals hoping to get 1 more run in that bottom of the 5th inning to help Shields qualify for the win.
Yes. I was sure hoping Lowe could doink one or just get any kind of hit to give him the lead and give him a win. But you know what? They've won. The Royals have won his last 4 starts, so that makes James happy. He's not too into individual stats, although he'd love to have a few more wins to be rewarded for the way he's pitched. But what a run, James Shields. Continue to do what you do. Being a pro and keeping your head up and doing your thing and not saying a word about the offense, not supporting you, that's a real pro. Keep going. In a way, big game.
Gutierrez pitched a scoreless inning on Friday night. He faced the 9-1-2 hitters, and he will face the 9-1-2 hitters in the 6th inning today, beginning with Hector Jimenez, followed by Alejandro De Aza and Alexei Ramirez. Breaking ball, strike 1. Jimenez had never faced James Shields before today, but he lined a deep right in his first at-bat and then singled to left in his second at-bat. Bad swing at a fastball at 96, 0-2.
Okay, Gutierrez, remember he was a closer for the Arizona Diamondbacks a few years ago before he had Tommy John. Okay, so he had a prominent role at one particular time, and he has great stuff. He's a plus fastball, mid-90s and above, and a real nice breaking ball.
Still 0-2. He saved 15 games for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2010. In 2011, he was injured and had to have Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. And as he was rehabbing, the Royals, very forward thinking, decided to sign him, knowing he'd pitched very little last year. And he did pitch very little, all in the minor leagues, but made the club this year.
He did because he impressed in spring training, and he's a veteran. They knew what he could do.
J.C. Gutierrez is on a very long list of players from Venezuela that started their career in the Astros organization. 2-2. Three balls, two strikes. Now, the stats say that Gutierrez has not faced Jimenez. I doubt that's true. They're both from Venezuela. I would guess that they have faced one another.
Believe it.
As much as the Latin American kids play in winter ball.
So give your homie a fastball right here and challenge him. Don't want to walk anybody. Go right after him.
96 miles an hour, still 3-2.
Yeah, hit that. Now, if you got a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or 88-mile-an-hour fastball, you're going to be a little bit leery of challenging a guy with that. But when you got velocity, that's hard for a hitter to square that unless it's right down the middle. Put it down low down the middle, he might hit it at somebody. And Jimenez, he's hungry. He don't get a whole lot of playing time, so he's looking. He's hacking. He don't care so much about a walk.
Oh, man, a jelly legger.
That was the swing he wanted to take, but he took it 15 feet outside of the box there. Ooh, yeah, that fooled him. Look at the torque on that elbow. Break. Look at that. That's a nice hammer.
So now De Aza, he opened the game with a walk and scored. The White Sox got 2 in the first inning, 2 in the third. Adam Dunn has driven in all 4. De Aza has also reached on a force out and singled. So far has just 2 hits in the series. One and one. Laid on a fastball at 96, 1-2.
Okay, you know, when you have an off day tomorrow, and actually that's 2 off days in a short period of time for the Royals, managers like to give guys a breather that day before the off day or the day after to give them 2 days in a row. That's what the case is with Salvador Perez here and Lorenzo Cain. Keep them fresh.
Two and two. And I'm sure James Shields would have liked to have gone out for a 6th inning. I'm sure he was capable of going for a 6th inning, but with the day off tomorrow, everybody in the bullpen will not pitch in a game, so Ned can go to the bullpen earlier. That is a strikeout, and De Aza will reach. Curveball bouncing away from Kataris. Strikeout, wild pitch. 1 on, 1 out.
Get that ball. It hit something.
Here's Alexei Ramirez. He singled and scored in that 2-run first inning. He is 1 for 3. De Aza runs. So the White Sox were trying a hit and run as Ramirez tries to go the other way, and he fouls it into the seats and right into a fans with a bright red shirt's glove running down the aisle and making the play.
Skills. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. There you go.
This is the first time I've noticed, and maybe it's just today, that Gutierrez works very slowly. Maybe it's just the contrasting style of James Shields. Pitch out, and the throw is right on the money, and Kataris nails De Aza.
Gutierrez liked it. Kataris liked it. And Escobar loved it. He said, man, if I get a throw right there on the first base side of second base, I'm going to get him out all the time. Look at that short throwing stroke, but good aim by Kataris. He was throwing downhill. That's exactly what you want to do as a catcher. Beautiful throw. And a big pickup for Gutierrez. Escobar want to make sure that De Aza couldn't get in there. He had his foot in front of the base, too.
Base hit left field in front of Alex on a short hop, so stolen base, or the caught stealing, is big. As now Ramirez is at first with 2 down. That's his second hit of the game. Coming up on the Royals' next homestand, the Cleveland Indians and the Oakland A's will be in town, and you can celebrate the Independence holiday a day early here on July 3rd. That's the Royals and the Indians. And also be one of the first 10,000 fans and receive a Royals Stars and Stripes cap courtesy of Time Warner Cable. And after the game, enjoy the largest fireworks spectacular of the season, presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi. And you can get those tickets right now at Royals.com or 1-800-6-ROYALS. Outside to Alex Rios. 0 for 2. He was hit by a James Shields pitch in the 3rd inning. He stole second and scored on Adam Dunn's 2-run home run. Now Ramirez runs, and Kataris doesn't bother with a throw.
Okay, now Kataris is going to go out there and say, okay, look, we're using this sign with the runner at second.
You might want to go out there and say, pick up the pace. It is not a blazing hot day, but it's one of those days where over time being outside is just going to be draining. And it has been a slower pace game as it is, and you don't want that defense standing out there continuing to melt in the heat and lose their concentration little by little.
Remember,
keep them on their toes.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's a former closer, though, so he kind of has that closer pace and tempo.
Two and two. I don't think there's ever a time where a pitcher doesn't want to get the defense on and off the field as quickly as possible, but especially on a day like today.
See, what happens is that your infielders start to, fidget a little bit, scratch the back of their neck, become good groundskeepers out there, covering up cleat marks in the dirt. Three and two here. If you're going to challenge a guy like Rios, make sure it's down.
No swing. And ball four. Boy, George Kataris in the Royals dugout, they were convinced that that was a swing. So it's a walk to put 2 on with 2 out.
Did he go? Sometimes the hand position really can be deceiving. If you keep the barrel back towards the catcher and your hands are out in front, it looks like you didn't swing. But if your wrists roll just a little, that's what gets the call made against you. So good hand position by Rios there.
Strike 2, Paul Konerko on base twice with a first inning walk and a 5th inning single. He has driven in 1 in this series and has the most RBIs against the Royals of any hitter in baseball ever. 143 career RBIs against the Royals. 1-1.
So will they say when he retires he was a Royal killer?
I don't think you have to wait until he retires.
That's right. But you know how they say things about guys once they're gone. Oh yeah, he was a crown killer.
Good fastball over the outside at 95, and Gutierrez is ahead 1-2. Royals are going to need at least 4 innings from their bullpen today. And the bullpen has hit a very rare bump in the road during this 4-game losing streak. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bullpen has been reliable. It has been consistent all year, but in the last 4, 2 against Cleveland, 2 against Chicago, bullpen ERA is 6.94. Friday night, the bullpen went 6 2/3 innings after Jeremy Guthrie had to come out after 2 1/3. And now 3-2. So both runners will be going on the next pitch to Konerko. Got it. Right over the inside corner. Gutierrez celebrates. So that's how he puts some energy into the inning.
Whatever it takes.
games without a home run, and then back-to-back from a couple of unlikely candidates, George Kottaras and Jarrod Dyson. They both doubled their home run totals by going deep at a 3-run 5th inning. And now our Sonic Slam inning, our contestant is Jeannie Baker from KCMO. The Royals hit a home run in this inning. Jeannie wins $200. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Jeannie wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
Spread some more of that sauce around. Ooh. Nathan Jones, he came in last inning. Didn't get a chance to tell you about his mid-90s fastball. He's got a good one. 2-seamer. He'll sink it a little bit. Got a curve slider and a changeup, too. Elliott just saw the nasty yacker. Another word for a curve.
And Beckham makes a nice play at second base. So Johnson's had 2 hard hit outs, and he is 0 for 3.
Tell you, Gordon Beckham, he's taken a lot of hits away from Royals this year. We've seen. I know opening day, the first 2 or 3 games, he robbed a couple. Remember Lorenzo Cain hit a ball that just scorched it. He fully dove out and caught it. I mean, check him out. He is ripping Royals off. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop a call the cops on him. That's unbelievable. I mean, you know, so, and here's another one. This is when I was talking about Lorenzo Cain. Look at that one. Yeah, I understand, Lorenzo. That's hard to take. So what you do when you hit a ball like that at a guy, you say, all right, you hit anything close to me, I'm going to break my neck to catch it. And there he is there. I felt it. So you got to rob him back. That's what you tell yourself. All right, I'll get you. You hit anything close to me, I'm leaving my feet for it.
Kottaras strikes out, 2 down in the 6th. Jones, with the velocity and the hard slider we've seen, also has a very unique motion in it. I've heard it described, and it's very appropriate, like somebody throwing a javelin.
Yeah, it looks like that with his delivery, his release point.
Dyson, in his first start since coming back from the DL, has 2 hits, 2 runs scored, a stolen base, and an RBI. And all 3 at-bats, he has shown bunt.
He has. Now, let's give him a little love on his home run ball. Good balance there. Okay, his hands go back. Okay, nice take back by the hands. Okay, because he's getting loaded. He's getting ready. Now, the hip's got to turn. And then there it is. He pulled it outside of the plate. Okay, the plate's right there, and he got it. He barreled it. Caught it on the back underside and got the backspin and hit his second home run of the year. But I like to see him bunting. So go back out, back to your game, get on base, and steal a couple of them. Any way you can. You don't have to be perfect with your bunt either. When you have that kind of speed, you just get it down and the track meet's on, the race is on.
The old Little League line, a walk's as good as a hit. Well, for Dyson, a walk or a single is as good as a double.
That's right.
3-1. Dylan Axelrod had a 4-0 lead as he took them out in the bottom of the 3rd. He gave up a run, and then 3 in the 5th. He did not get out of the 5th inning. He gave up 4 runs, 10 hits in 4 2/3. Jones pitching now, got the final out of the 5th, and has the first 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. And Dyson will walk. So Dyson on for a 3rd time, and Robin Ventura starting to look at pitching matchups for down the road, trying to figure out who he might want to warm up in the bullpen as Alex comes up. He was 0 for his last 15 coming into today. He has 2 hits, a stolen base, and an RBI.
Brian, you were talking about that javelin type take back by Nathan Jones, and when he winds up and gets back there, it is an interesting thing. We got to show it to the folks. This is what you're talking about. See how it goes straight back. His arm goes straight back. He has no bend in it. Like a lot of guys bend it behind their back, down low. He keeps it up high. A lot of guys drop that ball down instead of going straight back like that. That's why it looks unusual. Okay, so they're going to try to pick a pitch out so they can get Dyson, or at least attempt to get him even on a pitch out. That's how good he is. His takeaways.
To Konerko, hit him on the leg, and he'll step on the bag to end the inning. So we played 6. Final game of the series. Royals trying to avoid a sweep, and we're tied at 4.
Look at those numbers, and after the home run against James Shields, he has now homered against 298 pitchers in his big league career, 29 different teams in 37 different stadiums, and 9 of those pitchers were in Royals uniforms when they gave up a home run. The first of those to give it up to him was Bobby Keppel. And remember, he pitched in the National League for a lot of years. Tim Collins was one of those pitchers to allow a home run as well, so we'll see what happens here with this matchup. Brian?
All right, Joel, as Tim Collins comes on in the 7th inning, and another impressive number in regard to Adam Dunn's career. This is not something that Adam Dunn is very pleased with, but that number would be 1,618. As in 1,618 career games, having never played in the postseason. That is the longest of any current major leaguer. Wow. Sure, he thought he had a pretty good shot last year as the White Sox were in first place for 117 days. And a slide that actually began here in Kansas City. White Sox had a lead late in the year. They had a series here at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals won 3 out of 4. Then they went to Anaheim and were swept. And that was enough momentum for the Tigers to take over the division.
That's a long career, but he's not the only one who's missed postseason action in their careers, but that's a lot of numbers, a lot of games.
3-1. It was a 3-game lead, to be specific. September the 17th. They had just won a game in Detroit to take a 3-game lead, and then losing 3 out of 4 here and swept in Anaheim. They finished September, the White Sox did, 12-18.
That'll do it. That'll take you out of it.
Collins off to a good start as he strikes out Adam Dunn. One down in the 7th. And we look at today's AT trivia question. Who are the 5 players to win a Royals Triple Crown offensively? 5 players have won the Triple Crown for the Royals, just for the Royals, not in the league, on offense.
Carlos Beltran.
That's 1.
George Brett.
That's 2. How about Mike Sweeney?
Sounds good to me. Heck of a ball player. How about Willie Wilson?
How about, I don't know if he would have led the team in home runs. How about Amos Otis? Johnson playing up the middle, diving attempt. He went to grab the ball out of his glove, and it just wasn't there.
It wasn't. And you know, he's got plenty of speed to be able to get to that ball, and then he's got an arm to throw him out. Just one thing, it didn't stick in his glove. That was kind of humorous to me. Not the base hit. Guys are out there trying to talk Collins into rolling him into a double play. Keppinger, who's going to be hitting here. Just leaked out the end of his glove. He's going to make a phantom play.
Yep. Ended up with a handful of empty. So 1 on 1 out, and with the White Sox move to bring on a right-hand batter, Kelvin Herrera comes on with 1 on 1 out, 7th inning, and a 4-4 tie. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. You'll watch every out-of-market game live online in HD. Features include choice of home and away broadcast, DVR functionality, and multi-game viewing options. Visit MLB.tv to order and join the millions of fans already watching games.
Okay. There's a lot of game to be played. Royals need to keep that focus here. See if they can get one down, roll a double play. Although Herrera, he's pretty much a fly ball pitcher with that hard fastball he's got. If they make contact with it, it's up and hopefully won't be over the wall. Keep that ball down.
Boy, who would have thought the way he was going in the month of April that he would have an ERA of 5 and would have spent some time in the minor leagues?
Nobody.
Danks running for Viciedo, steals second base, and the throw is off of Escobar's glove, but Danks has no further advance. And the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Keppinger.
Okay, Danks made a difference in yesterday's game. He came in and pinch ran. He did a good job. Scored a run. And that's his second stolen base of the year there. So no double play in order, but Calhoun's got to get in there and see if he can get a strikeout. Got the stuff to do it.
Three and one. Herrera pitched in the game on Friday and mop-up duty in a 9-1 Royals loss. Worked around a single and a walk. He also struck out 2. Now Keppinger walks to put 2 on with 1 out.
Okay, that's Herrera's 15th walk. 27 and a third.
So more than 1 walk every 2 innings.
Not good. His strikeouts are there. He's got to find a way to get ahead. So you got to get strike 1 on these guys. 32 punch outs in 27 innings. So he obviously you see the stuff he's got. Royals got to get this game.
Drilled to center field. Dyson was shallow, way back, and it lands on the warning track and up against the wall. And Gordon Beckham drives in 2.
When you fall behind, hitters are gearing up for that Kelvin Herrera fastball at 100. I don't know what it was there. That's 99. It's close enough. And you put an easy swing on a ball like that, and it'll jump just like it did. Dyson, he was on his horse. Watch him in straightaway center field. You got to play him to the opposite field. Okay, he's playing shallow in case of the single, but even Gerard couldn't catch it.
So 1 run is charged to Collins. He gave up the base hit to Viciedo with Danks running for him, and run charge to Herrera. We will get Hector Jimenez.
Robin Ventura was talking about Gordon Beckham, how much he's coming on lately. He's really been having some good plate appearances. Confidence is there for the guy, and that's a huge hit for the White Sox. Jeff Manto, hitting coach in his second year. Robin Ventura brought him along with him. Got to be happy about the way his team's been scoring some runs in this series.
And now Herrera's in trouble behind Jimenez. 2-0. And Luke Hochevar warming up very quickly. 2-1.
White Sox are attempting to win 4 straight games at the K for the first time since a 5-game streak in 09.
Before this series started, the Royals had won 13 of their last 18 here against Chicago. The Royals won the season series last year against the White Sox. 12-6. Well, it wasn't even close, and they won the season series the year before. And I'll bet if you asked Robin Ventura or anybody with the White Sox, was there one team that was the difference between you winning the division and finishing in second place, he'd have to say the Royals. because they were 6-12 against the Royals, and the Royals were 5-13 against the Tigers, the team that the White Sox were chasing. So they didn't help the White Sox with the way they played against Detroit, but when the Royals played against Chicago, they played some of their best games of the year. Jimenez fouls it straight back. So here we go. The last two series for the Royals bullpen. 4 innings, 5 earned runs at Cleveland. And now in this series, 10 innings, 6 earned runs.
Consistency in all 3 areas are hard to find at the same time. And when you do, you go on a run.
Great changeup. That's something Herrera can build on as he strikes out Jimenez for the second out.
Yeah. A little boost there for him. You see how he turns it over. Perfect location. Beautiful pitch. It's like a James Shields changeup. Minus a little velocity, but same kind of action.
Alejandro De Aza, who did not see Herrera on Friday night, but he is 2 for 4 against Kelvin. And again, this is a situation that we talked about earlier where the official stats say 2 out of 4, but a couple of guys from the Dominican Republic who have, I'm sure, faced each other more than 4 times coming into today. And De Aza out in front and pulls a changeup at 90 miles an hour foul. So maybe that changeup a little too hard, as the changeup before was at 86 for a strikeout. That changeup at 90.
Interesting. I wonder how you would change speeds like that with your changeup. I mean, that's a field pitch, and sometimes you just throw it, but there's a big difference there in the velocity of that changeup.
I've heard some people say that ideally it's 10 to 12 miles an hour off of the fastball. You want it to be fast enough so it looks like the fastball, but you don't want it to be too slow, because then the hitter is going to pick it up and be able to make an adjustment. And that the ideal range would be 10 to 12 miles an hour.
And with the same arm speed as the fastball. And they do that by holding the ball in the back 3 fingers. They call it a circle changeup.
The circle is created by the thumb and the index finger, as if a pitcher was saying A-OK, the hand sign for OK, and then just put the ball in the middle ring and pinky finger. A sliver comes off of De Aza's bat as he dribbles it foul.
Okay, this is what we're talking about. That's James Shields' fingers there, but that's the right idea. That's James's. Some guys actually will connect these 2 fingers here, and that makes it a circle change.
Two outs, 2 runs in. White Sox lead 6-4 in the 7th inning. And one hop, a short hop to Escobar. He throws out De Aza to end the inning. Gordon Beckham with a 2-run double to center field scores Danks and Keppinger to put Chicago back out in front.
Hosmer early with a hard liner, and then he took James Shields deep for the first time in his career. Dead center field. But then, here come the Royals. Kataris, Dyson, back-to-back jacks. Pretty exciting. Billy Butler chipped in, too, to tie it up. And then Gordon Beckham says, you know what, I hate to spoil you guys' party, but we haven't swept here in a long time. We need the sweep. Just knocked in those two in the 7th inning, and that's where we stand. Bottom of the 7th inning. Kansas City down by 2. They've got to fight. They've got to fight and claw back to avoid the sweep. Going into tomorrow's off day, feeling a little better about themselves.
And then the first place Braves of the National League East will be waiting on Tuesday. Changes for the White Sox. Jordan Danks, he ran for Viciedo. He'll stay in the game and play center. And Alejandro De Aza will move from center to left. Jeff Keppinger was a pinch hitter for the Sox for third baseman Connor Gillespie. So Keppinger is now at third. And on the mound is hard-throwing lefty Matt Thornton with Escobar, Hosmer, and Butler coming up in the bottom of the 7th.
Okay, you see that ERA, 3.47. Not too bad. That means somebody scored on him. All right, so they can do it. Fastball, cut slider. Cutter slider. He's got a ball coming in. That's about it. He's going to challenge the right. He's going to go right after him. He's a low to mid-90s guy. Now, if he had a 0.00 ERA, you would go, wow, this guy's unhittable. Can't score off him. Find a way.
Escobar doubled and scored in the Royals' biggest inning, a 3-run 5th, and that tied the game at 4. He is 1 for 3. 2 balls, no strikes. He is 1 for 5 against Thornton, with that one hit being a single.
10 hits apiece for both teams.
Many things have gone wrong for the White Sox this year. They've had injuries to their starting rotation. Their offense has underperformed, to say the least. Their defense has not been the same. But their bullpen has been pretty strong all season long. They have saved 21 as a staff, and they've only blown 5 saves all year. So from the 7th inning on, they're about as good as it gets in the American League. Half swing, one hopper to Ramirez, who unloads quickly and just gets Escobar for the first out.
Yeah, that's nice quick feet there by Ramirez.
All right, the answer to our AT&T trivia question. I think we have them here, so don't show them yet. 5 players to win the Royals Triple Crown offensively. How about Amos Otis, George Brett, Carlos Beltran, Mike Sweeney, and Billy Butler last year?
See how we did.
Danny Tartable.
Whoa, we missed the ball.
So no Mike Sweeney, but Danny Tartable did it in 1991. Amos Otis did it twice. George Brett once.
Okay. Me and Ed Farmer, White Sox radio broadcaster, we're talking about Danny Tartable today. Well, he's in our trivia.
One and one on Eric Hosmer. We all thoroughly enjoyed your conversation with Ken Hawk Harrelson in the pregame show yesterday. And something that did not make the air, here's the Hawk, it's a conversation that you had with him in regard to, there's the
that's the chicken hawk.
Only you could get him to do that, by the way.
You know what? You gotta have a little character, and he's got it. Get in there.
Konerko just gets back to the bag in time.
So we were having, Hawk was having a little ice cream this morning early, and he sat down at the table next to me. We were talking about the modern day technology. You know, we've talked about it before, Ryan. All the devices, all of these stats, all the information. And as we see this picture here, he told me that was in Yankee Stadium, and then he said that Charlie O, the mule, Charlie Finley would travel him, and he would go in different ballparks across America. And he jumped on there, and the mule got all the way to the other side of the Yankee side. He told me he saw Mickey Mantle pick up a fungo as he was riding the mule, and he goes, "Uh-oh, I know what he's going to do with that." And he hit the mule, and the mule backed up, and Hawk slid off, and he said he had a wad of chewing tobacco, and he swallowed it. He said he had to relieve himself in the dugout, and he got back out and ran out back into his dugout.
Wait a minute.
So there was more to the story. I had to get it from him. I said, "Hawk, tell me about it." And that's what he said.
He had to relieve himself of the tobacco in the dugout?
Well, he swallowed the tobacco, and if
Right.
you do that, sometimes you have to relieve yourself.
Okay.
So he
Proving once again you can't beat fun at the old ballpark.
But
Especially
anyway,
when you have a traveling mule and a mouthful of tobacco.
we talked about
And Mickey Mantle has a fungo in his hand. That sounds like a weird dream. I had a dream I was riding a mule
He's a
at Yankee
character.
Stadium, and I was chewing tobacco, and Mickey Mantle had a fungo in his hand. And then I woke up and I was playing ping pong with Abraham Lincoln on a submarine. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He's a real character. And so he was telling me about Ted Williams. What Ted Williams, all he wanted to know as far as advice about hitting was he would call the receptionist at his home ballpark at Fenway Park. And all he wanted to know was how was the wind blowing at Fenway? Was the wind blowing in? Was it blowing out? He wanted to know who the starting pitcher was, and he wanted to know who the home plate umpire would be. That's the only information the greatest hitter on earth ever wanted to know.
Billy swings and misses. Hopefully he doesn't trip over that beach ball. Well, now they are going to, I don't know if they're going to claim it was a foul ball or if timeout had been called when the beach ball came onto the field. Therefore, it would mean no pitch. The crew chief is the umpire with his back to us with the number 3, Tim Welke.
Yeah, he's out.
And now they're going to say Billy is out. So again, we don't know if that was an argument about contact or not, or if time had been called as the beach ball came flying on the field. What we do know is that the inning is over.
Guys, as they cool down the Indians, Toronto, unbelievable, 11-game winning streak for them. Torrey Hunter with the go-ahead RBI for Detroit. Justin Verlander did give up 4, but the Tigers winning that one. James Loney, he's got a couple of RBIs leading the Rays at New York, Pittsburgh, and L.A. Early on in that game, same for Seattle and Oakland, just in at the top of the third.
All right, thank you, Joel. As Luke Hochevar will take over in the 8th inning in a 2-run game. White Sox, after 2.5 innings, had a 4-0 lead, and then the Royals scored 1 in the 3rd, 3 in the 5th, and part of that inning included back-to-back home runs from Kataris and Dyson, and then Chicago regained the lead on a 2-run double by Beckham in the 7th. So Hochevar is the 5th Royals pitcher today. Shields went 5. He gave up 4. Gutierrez, a scoreless inning. Collins gave up a run in 1/3 of an inning, and Herrera gave up a run in 2/3 of an inning. Hochevar misses outside, ball 1 to Ramirez. One and one.
I had a little talk with Luke about his pitches. How different it is being a bullpen for the first year this year. I said, hey, Luke, you know what I see? I see closing future in you. I see a guy that can throw mid to upper 90s, kind of like a dragster. You come in for a short amount of time, you can throttle up and just let it go. Fastball, slider. You see a lot of successful middle relievers or even late inning guys come in with just those 2 pitches. If you just stay right with those, maybe move that 2-seamer around a little bit, like that one there, that's plenty effective.
And his response to that was?
Like to mix in my curve once in a while.
Well, and I'm sure you can't blame him. I mean, he also wants to be a starter, too. I'm sure in the back of his mind he would like to, if it's possible, and he's the ultimate team guy, but if it's possible, get a shot at starting again someday.
But how many guys do you see that, I mean, there's some 97 there, and he just basically abused Alexi Ramirez. He just went right after him, but he was on the corners. 4-seamer on the outside to put him away, 2-seamer in earlier, and a nice slider. The first pitch that got him. And how many times you see a starter go to a closer? Closers, you know, I mean,
or even a good setup guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the curve. 0-1 on Rios. Oh, and 2 on Rios, coming back with a fastball at 95. Rios is 0 for 2. He has been on base twice, and he has scored a run.
He's got plenty of stuff. Just get used to his new role here.
Down around the end of the bat, but Rios shoots it into right center for a base hit, so he's on for a 3rd time.
It's off the end.
Strike from Hochevar to Paul Konerko. Looking at Luke Hochevar's career numbers, and this is just the 25th time in his career that he's pitched out of the bullpen. But as a starter, his career ERA is 5.44. As a reliever, his earned run average is 2.79. So 5.44 versus 2.79.
Big difference.
And those numbers would suggest he's not just better out of the bullpen, he's good out of the bullpen. I mean, it's one thing to say, well, you know, numbers aren't great either way, but he's just better out of the pen. Right on the money. Kataris guns down Rios. The White Sox have stolen 3 on Kataris, and Kataris has gunned down 2. So they've tried 5 times against him today.
Yep, and Escobar did a nice job of catching and tagging without jamming his wrist. But Kataris has a really nice throwing stroke today. It's short and quick, and it's on the perfect side. Now Escobar's got to be able to get his glove out of the way there after he puts that tag on there. And this is what you have to deal with when you're trying to tag a runner coming in there at full speed. So nice job, George. Home run, threw out a couple guys. Only thing's missing is the lead. Hopefully they'll get that.
Good hard slider. 1 and 2. Slider slash cut fastball. It's tough to tell with him. And pitch anywhere from the upper 80s. And that one was 91. And got him looking. Canerco flings the bat in frustration as he strikes out for a 3rd time. And Luke Kochaver has another scoreless inning out of the bullpen. Guts, Glory, Ram. Well, this year in interleague play, just like with the Cardinals, the Royals will have a home and home with the Braves. The Royals split a 2-game series in Atlanta back in April, and another 2 games begins on Tuesday night. Irvin Santana will pitch game 1, Luis Mendoza game 2. And talking about the Braves, our Mazda game break. Brian McCann, very close friend of Jeff Francoeur, going back to their days in the Atlanta area and in the Braves organization. He hits a 1st inning grand slam, and the Braves out in front of the Brewers 6-4. That game is in the top of the 8th inning. The Braves are in 1st place in the National League East. Here's Jesse Crain with his tiny ERA, 0.53. which includes 29 consecutive scoreless outings. And a strike to Mike Moustakas.
Base runners.
Oh, and 2.
A couple of different speeds to that breaking ball there. First one was a tight slider. Next one was like a little rolling curve. He's got a strong fastball too. 9-95.
to chase a high fastball. Still no balls, 2 strikes. Royals were down. We take that back. Royals were tied 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning yesterday. And with Jesse Crane pitching with 1 out, Eric Hosmer hit a ball into right center field that should have been caught. It dropped for a triple, and the Royals had the go-ahead run at third base with 1 out, but Crane got out of it. We got a pop out from Salvador Perez. After a walk to Butler, he struck out Lorenzo Cain. And Ned Yost, not picking on Salvador Perez in particular, but used Sal's at bat earlier in the game with a runner at third, less than 2 outs, where he came through and compared it to the at bat in the 8th. And fans will often ask, well, what does it mean when a hitter's trying to do too much? What does that mean? Because I think in everyday life, if things aren't going your way, well, you try harder, you work harder. That's just how you do things. Well, it doesn't always work that way in the game of baseball, and Crane may have taken advantage of Salvador Perez trying to do too much. That is a 4th straight multi-hit game for Mike Moustakas.
And you said it. He wasn't trying to do too much there. He took what Jesse Crane gave him. A fastball with 2 strikes on him, and he just made contact. And look at how that ball jumped. Look at that. Beautiful control on that swing. Nice, Moose. That's going to keep him going. Good looking swing. Just meet the ball.
Now you have to watch out for Jesse Crane's great move. As David Lowe takes strike 1. Rusty Kuntz shared with me when we were in Chicago to begin the season that he believes Jesse Crane has the best move of any right-hand pitcher in the American League.
Really? Better than Shields'? James has a great one.
That is high, 1-1 on David Lowe. Rusty said that the average time for a right-hand pitcher in his move to first base is actually 1 second, which, wow, if you think about it, that's very fast. From the moment he moves to first base until the ball hits the first baseman's glove, the average time is 1 second. As Lowe hits it into right center field, and that will drop in front of Rios. Moustakas stops at second base. That's a 3-hit game for David Lowe.
That's what they needed. A couple base runners.
And now Elliott Johnson, who is 0 for 3. Just to finish the thought, I don't think we're going to see Crane's move now, but Rusty was saying the average time is 1 second. Anytime you can get under 1 second, that is above average. If you are 0.8 seconds, that's considered excellent. And Rusty said that Jesse Crane is consistently 0.78 to 0.75. It's just, so that would be off the charts for a right-hander's move to first base. But now White Sox are ready for a bunt with runners at first and second, nobody out. They have the corners in on the grass, and Johnson bunts toward third. Crane misplays it, and everybody's safe.
All right, Crane, he had in mind that he could pick it and throw. He's a good athlete. You talk about how quick his footwork is, and he was going to spin and throw over there to Keppinger, the third baseman. So Elliott Johnson, nice job. Get the first pitch down. Crane forgot something. So here you go. Nobody out, bases loaded. Perfect time.
In addition to having a good move, Jesse Crane also a very good fielder. He was an infielder in college, so he was going for the out at third. It is a sacrifice and an error on Crane. George Gutaris jumps on the first pitch, a hard slider, and fouls it away. Gutaris and Dyson went back-to-back with home runs in the fifth. Both only had one home run going into that inning.
Gutaris is 1 for 1 with him loaded up this year.
Curveball hangs high. 1 ball, 1 strike. He has never faced Jesse Crain, at least not in a regular season game. So a break because of the error, and it gets us back to the 8th inning yesterday, where the break was the ball that wasn't caught in right center field. The Royals did not turn that into a run. And now the error by Crain, giving the Royals 3 base runners without an out. And Gutaris fouls it off of Jimenez, 1-2.
George had a multi-homer game last year with the Oakland A's on August 31st. Now, we're not necessarily needing a grand slam right there, but I'll tell you, they'll take that. But anything he can pull in a hole would be a beautiful thing. Rios, the right fielder, he's pretty deep. He's not in. David Lowe, he's making a little mental note of where the outfielders are playing. That's important when you're at second base. You've got to make a mental note, and that way on contact, you can react quicker.
Chin music.
That's one way to answer back from chin music. Nice base hit.
Slow breaking ball. So Crain, known for his power, velocity with the fastball and a hard slider, he has really shown the Royals, in addition to that, a good slow curveball.
Well, he got himself into this mess, and now he wants to try to get himself out of it. So he tricked George there with a really nice pitch. Hey, Dyson can take a page out of Moose's book right here. Just make some contact, just meet the ball, try to find a hole. Keppinger, the third baseman, he's in.
Dyson, just like Gutaris, is facing Crain for the first time. Bases loaded, 1 out. Check swing. So the slow curveball that strikes out Gutaris at 72, and then Crain comes back with a fastball at 96 up and in.
Yeah, no, Crain, he's tough.
There's a reason why he has 29 consecutive scoreless outings, which, by the way, is a White Sox record, passing J.J. Putz, who had 27 for Chicago in 07.
And it's not like you can get a pattern on him either. He's mixing all of it. He's not staying dominant with that fastball. He's bringing in 2 different speeds to his breaking ball and a changeup too.
And then a curveball for a strike. Ed Yost told me a great story before the game today, talking about how to handle high-pressure situations. When he was coaching for the Braves in the 90s, Greg Maddux said rule number 1 for him was that, especially on the road, the louder the crowd was, the softer he threw, knowing that the hitters were getting caught up in the moment and would try and speed up. Now there's a fastball that was not a strike. 1-2, but how many guys who can throw 96 like Jesse Crain would go with as much of the soft stuff as he has in this inning?
Interesting. It's an interesting point.
The louder the crowd, the softer he threw.
Give these Royals fans something to cheer about. They're waiting. They're standing. You have to look for the fastball out over the middle and adjust to any kind of breaking.
That'll be out of play. Crane suffered his first major league loss here at Kauffman Stadium as a member of the Twins. Hard to believe that was 8 years ago, 2005, and it was significant because he had the major league record. 11 consecutive wins to begin his career as a reliever. He was 11-0 as a reliever, and that first loss was here back in 2005. And he's had a lot of good outings here in between then and now. Dyson swings and misses, and again, slower, 85 miles an hour. He got Dyson with a changeup. Boy, Crane looks like a starter, doesn't he? Fastball, curveball, slider, change. He's got all four.
Yeah, you don't see that. Actually, that's his little split changeup. And to have control of that, boy, you're on top of your game. He takes that, that's a strikeout. Good attempt.
And now Alex, 2 for 4, singles in his first 2 at-bats with an RBI. He is 0 for 5 against Crane. He has walked twice. Well, if there's a pattern, it appears that Crane likes to start the hitters off with the slider. And when he has thrown that slider for a strike, which he did not do here, then he comes back with the slower curve. Slider again is up. 2-0. Moustakas opened the inning with a single. Low single. Johnson just trying to get down a sac bunt. Crane committed an error to load the bases with nobody out. And now Kataris and Dyson have struck out. Did he go? No swing. Three and one.
Good spot on a 3-0 pitch right there. I mean, that's it. If he decides to swing at it, that might jam him, but that's a good take. You don't want to swing 3-0 there. See if you can get him a run here just by taking a ball.
How many times this year have the Royals gotten a bases loaded walk late in the game? Well, they've got another one. So one-run game as Alex gets his second RBI today. That gets Moustakas to the plate. And now they're loaded up for Alcides Escobar. It has been very much a grinding inning for Jesse Crane. So pitching coach Don Cooper, more than anything else, out there to give a chance to catch his breath.
Yep, he got himself into this mess, and Donnie Cooper's going to let him get himself out of it if he can.
So that snaps the string. 29 consecutive scoreless outings for Jesse Crane. And that was a White Sox team record, and it comes to an end today.
Crane threw 29 pitches yesterday. He's at 24 now, so they're making him work. Perfect hitter, in my opinion, to be up in a situation like this. A guy who's a contact hitter.
This time, first pitch fastball, and Escobar seemed to be ready for it and fouls it away. Escobar grounded to short against Crane yesterday. That makes him 1 out of 7 against Jesse Crane. There's Miguel Tejada maybe going over that situation with Gerard Dyson from earlier in the inning.
Yeah, he's mentoring. You got great speed on the bases.
Really doesn't have the command of that pitch. He's gotten the Royals to go after his curve, his fastball, and his change, but the slider has stayed up. He continues to go to it, hoping that he gets the feel back. And there's a slider for a strike, but it's up above the belt.
Very hittable. He's going to go back to a high fastball, see if he can get him to swing and miss.
Slow curve, grounded to short, past Ramirez, and the Royals will get 2 to take the lead.
That's how you rally back late. And the Royals are used to it. They've been scoring runs in the late in games. Now, he hit that ball hard. The ball hops up at the perfect time for Royals fans to cheer, as 2 runs will score, and they're not done.
It is an error on Ramirez, and the second error of the inning for the White Sox. The first one committed by Crane, and now by Ramirez. So the Royals have their second 3-run inning of the game.
To keep the White Sox from sweeping, they don't care how they get the runs.
Keppinger runs over in front of the dugout suite, and that ends the inning. 2 hits, 2 errors, and a bases loaded walk helps the Royals get 3.
Nice job, George. Good game. George Kataris, way to pick your team up. Big home run, then Dyson to follow. Back-to-back home runs we haven't seen in a long time. That was a big pick-me-up. So George had a nice game. Threw out a couple of runners. And now he gives way to Salvador Perez along with Holland for the save.
And it'll be Adam Dunn, Jordan Danks, and Jeff Keppinger in the 9th inning. Ball one from Holland to Adam Dunn. He has driven in 4 of the 6 Chicago runs. Greg Holland 15 out of 17 in save opportunities, including a blown save against Chicago back on May 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was the 1-0 game. James Shields went the first 8. Holland pitched the 9th. The White Sox tied it in that inning, and they won it in 10. Holland pitched yesterday in a non-save situation and faced 3 and retired 3, but one of those outs was a sacrifice fly. Adam Dunn late. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
See that fastball? He's got the split finger and the slider. See if we can finish him off.
Looked like a swing to me. And he is out. Home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman said that Adam Dunn went too far. Big strikeout game for the Royals pitching staff. That is 12 strikeouts against the White Sox today.
That's a great block by Salvi. That ball goes back to the backstop. He's got a chance to get on first base.
Jordan Danks has a pinch runner, stole second, and scored in the 7th inning. And a fastball is in there.
Okay, watch Salvi. He wants to stay down on it. He cradled it in, kept it from going to the back.
And that's after sitting around for over 3 hours. Comes out of the dugout to catch the 9th inning, and he's ready to block the first thing in the dirt.
Believe it. They got to start their climb back up to 500.
One and 2 on Danks. James Shields went 5. Gutierrez went 1. Collins a third of an inning. Herrera 2/3 of an inning. Hochevar, who's the pitcher of record, he pitched the 8th. Holland is the 6th Royals pitcher today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Royals have been down 4-0. That was very early. That was in the 3rd inning. And they've been down 6-4. That was in the 7th inning. They just scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th. High heat, 99 miles an hour.
Pump it up.
So maybe that radar gun in Cleveland wasn't juiced up.
No. Is Holland, when he gets on the side of that ball and he falls off that mountain, that ball's rising. It's got a little lift, that 4-seamer. You swing at this, you see that 4 seams, and look where that ball's heading. It's going up, it's not going down.
So 13 strikeouts for the Royals pitching staff. As Holland pitches to Jeff Keppinger. He walked in the 7th inning and scored a run. Holland may have had a little extra advantage there. That pitch came in at 97, and a bird at the same time flew in between the mound and home plate. So Keppinger had a couple of objects to try and keep his eyes on. Luckily for the bird, he was able to avoid the pitch. Over the inside. How about the movement on that pitch? 0-2. This is 2 pitches ago.
Okay, where's the bird? Where's the bird? There it comes. Oh, that's not right.
And after he swung and missed, Keppinger, actually the bird was right behind Greg Holland, but believe me, he saw it.
Where's the bird here?
1-2. Keppinger, after swinging and missing at that pitch, just kind of looked off to his right at the bird as if to say, come on, are you kidding me? Holland tried to grab it with his bare hand. Johnson throws out Keppinger to end the game. Another come-from-behind win for the Royals. And this time they do it with a big number. 7 runs, 3 of those coming in the 8th inning. They did not cash in a break in the 8th inning yesterday, but boy did they today. 3 unearned runs thanks to a couple of errors. And the Royals avoid the sweep against the White Sox.
Yes, and I can tell you that crowd here at the K, they were really into it, especially later in this game. They gave a big sigh of relief, a big cheer as their team is back on track. And it's good that they were able to stop that streak. 24 comeback wins this season. Nice characteristic in this ball club. And remember, it's just June 23rd, folks. Plenty of ball left this season. Nice win.
Here's our Ford play of the game.
Okay, Jesse Crain, obviously one of the best relievers in all of baseball. He had his troubles. He loaded them up. And the second error of the inning was made by the shortstop, Alexi Ramirez. They'll take it. Escobar hit the ball hard. Kicked up on Alexi. And they go into the off day just in time.
And the Royals are 1-0 this year with